The views and opinions expressed by John and DJ do not reflect those of any intelligent or rational human being and are solely the property of the Brightside Chat.
This show is a proud member of the Nerdy Legion Podcast Network. Get more at nerdylegion.com. Enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome back to the Bright Side and issue number 173. Hey, John, how are you doing, huh?
I'm doing great.
You've been sitting here talking for almost an hour.
I know.
Standing outside your store talking. We should have been recording the whole time.
Yeah.
Man, the listeners missed out on a scintillating conversation.
Well, yeah, but not your home theater audience may be interested, but not ours.
Yeah, well, that and internet problems and blah, blah, blah. So we got all that out of the way so we can just talk comics now, John, right?
Right.
And real world. How busy is your real world today?
Not too busy.
Oh, nice. Me either.
Not too busy.
I've been
another pretty slow week.
With the aforementioned conversation, I've been pretty busy. Yeah. I'm lucky I read the books. So, but
yeah.
We got lots of news and some good books this week. I had a couple of good comments for you and when we get to check out too. So, you ready to get into the store?
Yep.
All righty. Let's get into the store.
All right.
And we're in the store.
We are.
Hey, I got your email. What happened this week? What's the delay?
Oh, man, I don't even know. UPS. It's UPS issues. Completely on them this time. Yeah, they were supposed to deliver my 2 boxes of Marvel yesterday, and they tried to deliver before the store opened. So I got to the store with a little tag on the door saying, be back tomorrow. And so I was already ticked off about that because they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to honor business hours and redeliver if you're not there. But they didn't do that. So waited for them today, and then, of course, only 1 out of the 2 boxes showed up. I was tracking the other box, which looked like it was on another truck and still out for delivery, is what it said most of the afternoon. And then I got an email saying that it had been delivered, but it hadn't been because it wasn't there. So I looked into the email, and for some reason, and I don't know how this could possibly have happened, they were trying to deliver it to my old house in Pearland, which I haven't lived at in almost 7 years. And Random House has that address nowhere. Like, I've only had the account with them since 2020, so there's no way they would ever even have that address.
Did you even have the store when you were at that house?
I did.
Oh, okay.
But for only about a year.
Yeah, okay.
Only about a year, though. And then I moved. But, so anyways, so then I left the store. I drove over to my old house and talked to the guy there. And he said, oh, no, we caught him before he left, so we sent it back. So I don't know where it is now. I don't know what's going on. I've been waiting for a call back from UPS for the last 2.5 hours, but they said 5 minutes. So I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this box is, when I'm going to get it. It's just a big mess. But again, this is all on UPS because Random House couldn't have done anything to put my old address on that box. I don't know where they even got that from. So,
what a pain.
Big mess. Yeah.
That stinks.
But I got to see my old house that I hadn't seen in about 7 years. So
nice.
6 years. Yeah. So.
Oh, that stinks.
Fun. Yeah.
That all stinks. But that's the cost of doing business.
It is.
You know?
It is. Nothing can be easy.
It's funny you saying all this, and oh my, that's where it was. Oh, all right. Are you ready? Oh, damn. I knew it. I'm glad I remembered. I would have felt awful. All right. Are you ready? You ready to get to mailbag? Because it just popped.
I guess, because I don't know what you're going on about right now.
Yeah,
so
I know
you're all excited about something.
You do know what I'm going on about because we have a bunch of stuff to get to mailbag. So let's get where's that mailbag? It's around here somewhere. There it is. There it is. I found it. All right. This is a big one, John. How did we miss this?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I don't know how we missed it. Well, I know how I missed it. I don't know how you missed it.
I know. I should be checking that every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This is our a 5-star rating on Apple iTunes. World's Finest.
Topical. This, it's a good thing you waited until this week to talk about it because that book came out this week from DC.
Which one?
World's Finest.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I know, and this is from December.
That's why you did it.
This is from December 8th, 2021.
I know.
I'm glad it's 2021.
Yeah.
Because it's not we don't ask for a lot of review. We don't ask for reviews, not even a lot. We don't ask for a review. Every now and then we'll say something, but maybe we said something in this week or whatever. But Luca 13 Razi says, World's Finest, 5-star review. Thanks for an amazing show, guys. You have a great format and your lifelong friendship makes the show better than most. I'm glad you guys are in the 1% with Apple TV. I don't hear these shows talked about anywhere else. I also appreciate the inside look at shop owners' perspective. Keep doing the Lord's work. John?
So that was well before the chocolate show and the gin and tonic show, I think.
We may have lost Luca.
Yeah, Luca may not be around anymore.
Well, it hasn't been downgraded, which you
True.
can do from one of our other not so happy listeners.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with us. That was just a learning experience.
Yeah. Used to be 5s, now you're 1s.
Now you're 1s, but the 5-star, but it said 5-star review all day long was still written there.
Right. Yeah.
That was so funny. Like,
you can edit the numbers, edit the stars, but not the text.
But what's sad is once you drop it down to 1, you can't take that back. It'll always go down as a 1.
Put it back up.
No, because you'll get that 1-star review, and then it goes into your calculation. So so we can never be 100% anymore. So wah. That's all right. It was funny. I don't mind. I mean, goes with my listening to paint dry. But yeah, that was awesome. I don't know what made me look. I was just sitting there and I'm like, I haven't checked that in a while. And I happened to go and check it and I was like, oh my God. And I sent it to you. I was like, look at this.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, wasn't it? That was pretty cool. So thank you. So anybody, keep those coming. We'll talk about them.
We'll find them 4 or 5 months later and we'll talk about them.
We'll get back to you in July.
It's like me answering Twitter questions.
Exactly. John's answering Twitter. I thought Rise of Skywalker was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. At Mike Myers Brunch. I'm not even saying what I am having. I say it every time. Listening to the latest podcast, and your podcast was affected by Apple Podcasts. I never got it. Got everything else and just assumed you skipped a week. And what was funny is
weird.
What was funny is this was in a big, that sparked off an email chain, and Nick Wetmore, who does Nerdy Legion with Martin, he goes, are you talking to us or are you talking to Brightside Chat?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
When I said you skipped a week, that should have been the clue.
Right.
It was so funny. And they actually put 2 podcasts out back to back, 2 in a row. Good for
the
them.
end times, DJ.
Yep. It's the end times. It's all over. BJ Horton at BJ. Oh, but anyways, on that whole thing, we said it last week. I'll say it again. It's like, I think it has more to do with whatever our phones are doing, whatever you're downloading with, because I've never had a problem downloading mine, but I've had issues with, it seems like if you ask anybody, they all have different groups or different podcasts that they have issues with. Right. So, I mean, there would be some similarities. Like Martin's like, yeah, I was missing Brightside for a day or two too. But, then you have Mike saying, well, I never got it. So, well, okay. It's, but it is Apple is the one common denominator. Because if you ever missing anything, just go over to Spotify. Because I do that all the time. I know certain podcasts, they'll drop at a time stamp. Like, all right, at 11 a.m. and this one podcast comes out. It's not there. Just go to Spotify. It'll be there. But then at 12:30, it's there. So,
right.
But all right. All that to say, there's nothing we can do about it, really.
Right.
We're doing all we can right here, just talking.
Follow Twitter. We're going to post when we have a show up. And then
Well, I don't even do that.
It.
Sometimes I forget. The Nerdy Legion puts out an automatic, but I always, some days I forget to promote. And I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm like, I forgot. Oh, well. All right. Everybody listen. BJ Horton says, at Brightside_chat, the special chocolate from Colorado. I just had to pull these 18 wheels over. I almost pissed my pants.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What did you say, too? Didn't you say something like
we need to put a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. Do not operate heavy machinery or attempt to drive while listening to the Brightside chat.
Yeah. You could either drive off the road laughing or fall asleep. So it could go either way. It could go either way. Martin replied, Martin, I just want to know if BJ has a monkey.
Yeah.
And then BJ replied with the picture of BJ and the bear.
Yeah, Billy Joe McKay trucking.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome? I loved that show. Look how young he is, too.
I know.
Did you see in that picture how young he was?
I did.
Oh, my God.
Because
a lot older.
He came back in My Two Dads.
My Two Dads. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Martin also says, at Brightside_chat, at Arkham Comics. I heard John doesn't like collars on his Batman. And then sent the 4 images of all different collars.
He did, yep.
There was one, the first image. I don't know what that was from. Do you know that actually had like the same
them
collar?
now, but I think it was Gotham by Gaslight, but I don't have the picture up in front of me right now.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So
I think you're right. The other ones were all more futuristic.
Yeah.
Way more futuristic. But I think you're right. That is Gotham by Gaslight. But yes, he does have that collar. Almost the exact same collar, too.
Yeah. I saw it. I still don't like it.
It'd be nice if it progresses, though.
Yeah.
In the future movies. What else we got? Oh, Martin Anderson today says, I think it was today. Yeah. A few hours ago. At Brightside_chat and at Arkham Comics. If you want a show like Afterlife, then check out Derek on Netflix. It's Ricky Gervais and a lot of the same actors, and I think the general mood in the shows are the same.
Yeah.
Well, that's depressing.
I've already got that queued up.
So it's sad?
It's in my watch list on Netflix, and yes, I noticed that watching the trailer that almost the whole same cast.
Oh, really?
This is an earlier show than
Afterlife,
and so I'm not sure, but it looks good. I'm definitely going to watch it.
Well, I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it yet, but
I'm just getting super behind. I'm at the point now where I actually had to make a list. I had to make a watch list because I'm getting so far behind on things I don't want to forget. So I have a list like you. The last few weeks have been bad. Like Lydia's been out of town a lot. Even like this coming Thursday, she's going to be out of town again. So it's like all our watching TV days. Yeah, but the days that we watch all our shows, she was out of town last Thursday. She's going to be out of town next Thursday or this, tomorrow.
You don't have to do it, right? It's just, this is all
what do you mean?
Fun, entertainment, watching TV.
I understand, but what I'm saying is these are things that I want to get to that I'll forget if I don't. So I just started writing them down.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll get to them, but I have a list now of things to watch.
Yeah.
I've never had that before. I've always been the opposite where I was like scrambling for new things to find. Now I've got 10 things on a list that I need to get to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I see. I don't keep the list. I go by like, all right, if it sparks my interest, I'm going to watch it. So if I remember, I'm going to, and it's every now and then I'll text you. I'll be like, what was that one we talked about? Because obviously it sparked my interest and you'll just tell me, or you'll say, go listen to the show.
Yeah. Go listen, damn it. Why? You're not going to watch it anyways. That's what I would probably say.
No, I mean, most of the time when I text you,
first episode and move on to something else.
Right.
So
when exactly. No, but when I text you, it means I'm sitting on the couch. Jen and I are looking to watch something, and I'm like, come on, reply. And you see the little bubbles going back and forth. He's texting.
He's texting. Now we can watch something.
Like our TV is empty.
Right.
YouTube comment from Theo. Hi, guys. Loved your show. Loved the Picard show and Outlander show, too. Awesome.
Gonna talk
Theo,
about both of those again this week.
Theo's always bringing it. Always bringing it on YouTube,
Yeah.
on Twitter, always promoting the podcast. Thank you very much, buddy. And that will do it for Mailbag this week.
Awesome.
So, yeah. Yeah, that was good. We had a bunch of comments and we had a 5-star review. So what a week. I mean, it doesn't
ask for more than
it doesn't
that.
get much better than that.
Well, you know what'll be better? Breaking news.
Breaking news? You ready to get to breaking news?
I can't wait to get to breaking news.
Oh, here we go. Why is
Cannot wait.
There it is.
All right.
Breaking news. I'm going to wait
So,
to bring up this image.
yeah, DJ, we're going to start the breaking news off like we do every week
Yep.
with some Tom Brady news.
Yeah. He's back.
In a bold move on Sunday, Tom Brady unretired.
I
And
think it was
announced that
because
he
of
will be.
all the bright side chat. You know,
You know
talk.
what it was, actually. You know what I really think it was? He was in England on Saturday at the Manchester United game, hobnobbing with Cristiano Ronaldo. And Ronaldo scored 3 goals on Saturday.
Oh,
and
no.
Tom Brady said, if this guy can do it at 37, I can still do it at 44. So
Yeah.
the next day he unretired. So
Ugh.
coincidence? You tell me.
It's so crazy. I was talking with a buddy of mine who's a season ticket holder of the Patriots. And he said the same thing as me. Like when you and I were saying the other day, and I'm like, I think it's great. I'm excited to have him back. I think you took my text a little bit wrong. I'm like, this is weird because it's so out of the ordinary for Tom Brady.
You
know
just
what I
sounded
mean?
like somebody peed in your Cheerios.
That's
man.
what I
You were
mean.
like really cranky because
No, but
you
I
were
wasn't.
all up in arms about that meme earlier in the
meme?
day, the Sinister Six meme. You
Oh,
were like
yeah.
going crazy about that.
That was
And then Tom Brady, and I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on with DJ today?
See, that's what's great about text is that you took it as that I'm all up in arms. I was laughing. It was a meme saying this is, what would the Sinister Six? Oh, they were at like McDonald's.
They were at
or
McDonald's.
something. What would they
something, yeah.
order? And they didn't even have And the funny thing is, it was a handmade Sinister Six. So
they were just posting faces on other bodies
in a McDonald's,
right?
And it had Aunt May and Peter Parker.
Right.
They're not in the. Why didn't they put in Sinister Six characters?
I don't know, because there weren't 6 of them in the movie. That's the only thing I could come up with is they needed 2 more
that
faces.
Don't make the meme. It just
Right.
didn't make sense. It's like I didn't get it. I was like, and that's what I thought was funny. I think it's just people going, "Hey, Sinister," like they don't even know what Sinister Six is. They're just doing it. That's why. And I was laughing at it. And
the thing is, it wasn't even funny, even if it wasn't. Because, all right, what's the point here?
Right.
Like, what would they order at
A Big
McDonald's?
Mac.
Okay,
Right.
there was no punchline. So I was like, I don't know what they were going for anyways.
That's what I mean. That's what I thought was funny about this whole thing. It's like they went to all that effort to make the meme. The joke wasn't funny, and it was just the completely wrong characters.
Yeah, it was really weird.
So, and then we get to the Tom Brady thing, and you took it as like, I'm like, no, I think this is great, but it is completely out of the ordinary for him. Usually when he does stuff, he's very calculated, and to come out like just 5 weeks later, be like,
well, because my thing is like, if you weren't 100% sure, nobody was forcing you to make the retirement announcement to begin with. Like, if you would have just like done all of this behind the scenes and thought about it, you could have made one announcement.
And he blew an awesome opportunity to ruin everybody that speculated. Remember? Because they had announced it before he did. And he could have just been like, nope, I'm not. And then he never does. And everybody would have been like, what the hell just happened there? But
I honestly think he just didn't sell enough Brady pants. And
is he selling
realized he
pants
needed
now?
to go back to work. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Brady pants, and they're like $66 or something. It's crazy. So,
yep. That's Bright Side Sports.
Yep. For all the people who thought they were finally done hearing about Tom Brady from us.
He's back. We're going to get to hear another season. And I'm sure he'll retire again.
Yeah.
So he'll be back.
Yeah.
Nice to have Bright Side Sports back again, John.
It is.
Yeah.
Who won't be back?
Oh, that was a tough segue.
Is that tough? All right. Let me
Too soon.
let me back
John.
up.
Too soon.
All right, too soon. All right. News item number 2, bullet
But John,
point.
on YouTube,
Rest in peace, William Hurt.
right. But John, right, I was clicking on the next one right when you said it. So like the
Oh, were you?
YouTube is like, who won't be back? And then on YouTube it's like, there's the image. You're like,
Well.
we're on the bright side. But yeah, no, this one kind of did hurt a little bit for the MCU, for us. I mean, obviously
It does
for his
because
family,
there were future.
but
he had
he's a
future
great
plans.
actor too.
Now, yeah, obviously his family is more concerned with his loss than they are about no more Red Hulk. But there were plans for him to continue on in the MCU, and so they're going to have to change the way they look at things now with that. Do they
fairly
recast
young
Thunderbolt Ross, or do they just go a different way?
Yeah.
71 is,
The closer we get to it, it's really young.
I would say being on the other side of 50 now, 71 doesn't seem so old. If you had asked me 20 years ago, I would have said, oh yeah, 71, that's a good run. But, now my mom's 72 and, 71 doesn't seem so old anymore.
One of my football coaches passed away this past week. And I had him as a coach when I was like 12 to like 14 years old. And he just passed away. I think he was 78 years old. So I did the math and I'm like, the picture of him in his 70s looks just how I remember seeing him when I was 12 or 13 years old. But he was only 38 years old.
Yeah.
When I knew, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're like, oh my, that's how we, like as a kid, you picture people in their 30s as being like,
as
literally
people in their
70
70s.
years old,
Right.
Like, I'm like, it's still the same image, but he was an old school Nello Bassignani. Awesome guy.
Oh yeah.
Old school coach. He could not, you couldn't coach that way anymore. This is back in the day when like, this is football. You didn't do what you're supposed to do and you got picked up by your pants and he'd take linemen. And we were 12 or 13 years old. We thought we were big, but to him, he was a big guy too. He just
yelling
pick you
at
up by your collar and your pants and move you down the line. Like, over here, Briggs.
He's putting a cigarette out on your arm, all that stuff you did in the 70s.
He went, you remember Brian Godfrey? He was one of our quarterbacks, and we were practicing on the junior high field, and this guy was buzzing the field on his motorcycle. Just kept buzzing. Like, just kept going, but he was probably 20, 30 yards away, and he had enough. And he goes, Brian, give me the damn ball. And I don't think he said damn. And grabs the ball, and I still, to this day, I'll never forget. He just cocks his arm back. He looks, and we're like, on a laser beam, he knocked the kid right off the bike.
Oh, yeah.
That's
awesome.
The bike goes flipping, and we were all like, yay!
Yeah. Nowadays, it's a lawsuit.
Oh, yeah. Nowadays, yeah.
You shouldn't even be telling that story because his family may be liable.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, his daughter's getting served.
Yeah. No, he was awesome. Awesome guy. But yeah. William Hurt, tough week. So I don't have any pictures of my football coach for YouTube.
No.
No. Didn't save any. So, all right. Let's move along. Happier news.
Yeah. Looks like there's a God of War TV series in the works at Amazon Prime. So that should be cool. I enjoyed the game. So
I never played that game.
Yeah, it's got a good mythos.
That's a role playing game, right? Like type.
It's
like third person,
it's
above.
Yeah, it's a one player RPG.
Yeah,
but it's got a good story. Like I said, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
So should be a good show.
Hey, I'm always down for stuff like that.
And Amazon Prime is, they've got a lot of good properties that they're working on. So should be good.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we got Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
Coming. Is Expanse done?
Yes.
That's done.
Done. Yep. Season 6 was the end.
Okay. Good. Still enjoying it.
Yeah.
Got a ways to go.
Yeah. And it was good. Like I said, it had a good ending.
It's cooking up. It's heating up. It's getting really, really good. So, All right. Next up.
This next one kind of ticks me off.
I
I'll be
saw
honest
that
with
in your note. You know it ticks you off when in your notes it says "ugh."
Yeah.
Or whatever you wrote.
Here's why. Here's why it
write?
ticks me off.
Yeah, ugh.
Ugh, yeah.
There it is.
So we are in the final season of The Walking Dead, right? We're in the second third of it. They're breaking it up into 3 parts, of course, because they got to stretch it out for an entire year.
Of course.
But one of the things about The Walking Dead that was always, interesting is that anybody could die at any time. No star, no character was safe. Like, it's just, it didn't follow the comics, so they didn't have to, follow those storylines, and anybody could die.
Yep.
But prior to this season ending, they announced a spinoff with Daryl and Carol, who are arguably the 2 lead characters left on the show. So that tells you right away that those 2 characters are going to survive the end of season 11 for The Walking Dead. They just announced this week another spinoff featuring the arguably other 2 biggest characters left on the show, Maggie and Negan. It's going to be called Isle of the Dead. It's going to take place on Manhattan Island and feature these 2 characters that can't stand each other and are trying to kill each other all the time. So once again, we know that Maggie and Negan are going to survive The Walking Dead. I'm not upset that these spinoffs are taking place. I'm just really bothered by the timing of these announcements because it takes all the suspense and drama out of the rest of this season.
Existing show, right?
Right, because you know that the 4 main characters are going to survive and go on to another series.
Yeah.
And then, if you're going to have shows with the 4 main characters still going, don't cancel the show. Like, just keep The Walking Dead going, because clearly you want to tell more stories with these 4 characters.
Right.
So
this
really
falls
no reason
on
to
renumbering, going back to number 1.
Exactly. It's just a
what it
reboot.
is, right?
Yeah, they're rebooting The Walking Dead.
I see what you're doing there. I know how your mind works.
But this, I don't know. Like I said, it's the timing more than anything that bothers me. It's like, wait till this season plays out and then announce these shows.
Right. No, I totally agree with you on that. Especially, there's no reason you couldn't have. It's not like you're selling more tickets by doing it now. You're not getting anything. It's like, oh, well, I was going to die next week, but there's another
maybe
season,
they go into
so
production
I'll stay
and
alive.
something leaks, early, and okay, maybe, but at least make an attempt to keep it a secret.
Well, yeah, like at the end, like they do at the end of streaming series, they'll be like,
I'm sure they're going to put out casting announcements and things like that. So it probably would have leaked early, anyways. Yeah, but like I feel like they could have done more to keep it a secret.
Yeah. Yeah, like not announce it.
Yeah.
Step 1, don't tell everybody.
Yeah.
They should actually take a page out of my podcasting advertising budget or ideas. That's because the way I advertise. And I'm like, I don't like my brother told me when we first started this and we're at the airport. I'm like, I had the sweatshirt on and my brother-in-law goes, "Oh, you got a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah." "How come I didn't know?" I'm like, "I don't like to tell anybody." Mikey goes, "Yeah, that's not working for you."
Yeah, we don't want anybody to listen.
I don't want, I'm like, because it is. It's it's funny because I want to be humble, but in this, you don't want to be like, "Hey, everybody, I got a podcast." But at the same time, if you don't do that, it's not out there.
You're not going to have anybody listening to it.
How would you know to look for it?
Yeah.
So, and that's why we appreciate all you listeners for getting the word out. Thank you. Because I'm not.
Yeah, right. Because we're not doing it.
John's definitely not.
No.
People come in the store, it's on. They're like, "You have a podcast?" Yeah. All right, don't talk it up or nothing.
Turn that
down. All right, let's move along to
Valhalla. Netflix has renewed Vikings Valhalla for seasons 2 and 3. So season 1 has already dropped. This is a sequel to the series Vikings, which aired on the History Channel for like 7 seasons. I haven't gotten to this yet, but I'm really interested in watching this, and I'm glad that it's coming back for at least 2 more seasons. So must have had good response to season 1.
I haven't seen a single. I've heard great things. I have listeners
And I will,
on both shows telling me to see
I'm
it.
going to guess that you can watch one without the other because this takes place like 100 years after the Vikings TV series. So I'm going to guess that you can probably jump in and start watching this without going back to watching the other one. But yes, I'll jump on the bandwagon and tell you as well that Vikings was
you've told me.
A fantastic show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really liked it. And I'm hoping that this is similar. And the fact that it's on Netflix and they can swear and show boobs just makes it even better. So, because that's the 2 criteria I have for good shows.
He's 52, everybody. All grown up.
That's right.
It's not like when we were 14 and you had to watch it between the scrambly lines.
No, I know.
You can see whatever you want.
Now I have them in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos.
Wow.
So.
Did you hear my podcast today with Mark V?
No.
Oh my God, we were cracking up because he was saying like his kids go to people's houses and he had a friend. One of his kids had a friend invite them to a movie time birthday party type thing, and the invitation was even like a movie ticket and everything, and it was all. And they thought they had a nice theater, and so Mark's like, when the kids came home, he's like, "So what would the theater look like? Like how big were the speakers? How big were right?" And I start cracking up, and I said in the podcast, I go, like some guys have trophy wives. We have trophy theaters. And so like if you have a trophy wife, you're walking around going, "Hey, my wife's better than that wife." Yeah. It was like, "Oh, look at the speakers on that one." And that's what I said. I was like, "Yeah, they're real and they're spectacular." But yeah, it's like that's how we are though with theaters. You go into other people's houses and you're like, "Oh, you got a theater." All right.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next?
More news that irritates me. Warner
Hashtag bright side.
Yeah, Warner Brothers has delayed their entire slate of movies.
What the hell happened there? It was the
don't have any idea.
The weekend after the Batman airs, they have all this great press. And I was like, hashtag dork was the first one to tweet it out. And I was like, are you kidding me? I saw I think one moved up though, didn't it?
Well, Shazam moved into the space where
year.
Aquaman was going to be.
Yeah.
Black Adam is also this year, but several months later than its initial date.
Right.
And then Flash and Aquaman were both pushed until next year. And not like even just next year, but June and like November of next year.
Almost a year.
A full year away. And then I don't know if you were listening to Garmin this morning, which something I hadn't even considered. The fact that the Flash moved so far means we probably won't get the Batgirl show or movie on HBO Max either, because that features Michael Keaton's Batman, which has to come after the Flash. So that has also been delayed. I'm assuming it wasn't in the announcement. But
here's the thing: why at this point? Why? Yeah. What is going on? They just can't. And that's what disappointed me the most.
The Flash has moved like 4 times. Like the Flash is the new Wonder Woman, at this point, because
at least Wonder Woman
moved multiple times,
right? But Wonder Woman moved a year because it still wanted that time slot or that date, but it didn't want to be up against Endgame, so they moved it a whole year, and then
it moved again because of COVID.
Then COVID was the cause after that, right? But here's the only thing I thought. Is it possible that with the success of the Batman, that they decided to add some stuff in before we get to these stories? Like shows. Like let's get these shows out there. Get to change the timeline a little bit.
Anything's possible.
I am literally just blindfolded throwing darts at a wall here, trying to come up with anything positive, because there really seems like
No good reason for
No,
this.
not only no good reason, like positive on their side. I'm trying to look at it from their perspective. Why would you take all this bad press? Why would you because you just keep letting people down and everybody just keeps going, all right, it's not like we don't have other things to watch. And now you're just like, oh my God, you're creating animosity towards your customers. Yeah. And I don't understand why they're doing it. There has to be a reason. And it's like, I mean, the Batman was fantastic. Right. And now you can't wait for more. And 3 days after that, you get, oh yeah, well, all that stuff you can't wait for. And that's the other thing. It was in the Batman. It was the trailer before. This is what we're getting this year. Yeah. Everything was there. You couldn't wait. Before the Batman even started, you were like, "This is the best." And then, less than a week later, yeah, exactly. It was God.
Not even a week later.
That was that. I forgot that part. It was like, wait a minute, you just dropped this ad. So, was the success of the Batman is that enabling them to do something within the timeline that they want to get out before this stuff? I don't know. I'm like I said. Either. Blind, throwing darts at a wall. I have no idea. I'm just trying to see it from their perspective, and it's very difficult. There's no, like you said, no good reason. It's a shame. It really is. I mean,
it is. It is.
They're hitting it. The stuff we're getting is good. And then we have this next article.
I don't know if I'm excited about this or not. I kind of am.
If it wasn't attached to Harley Quinn, the animated series, we would all look at this, especially the images of Kite Man, right? You see the picture of if you didn't already know him from Harley Quinn, you'd be like, "What the hell is this?"
Right, but you'd say the same thing if you didn't already have Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just got if we just got pictures of him for that show, we'd be like, what the, we'd be the same way.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, well, you've already kind of said it. So there's a Kite Man spinoff in development on HBO Max. Again, not the best character from that show, so I'm not sure what direction they're going to go with this. But I liked that show a lot. I liked the character in the show. And I kind of have faith in those people that are making that show. So, I'm definitely gonna, check it out, at least check it out initially and see how it is. No guarantee I'll stick with it, but I generally find myself liking most of these things. So,
yeah, I mean, the Harley Quinn series, aren't we getting another season of that too?
Yes, they're working on another season of that. And again, this is an adult show. I imagine Kite Man will be the same. So
yeah, you can't go to like PG now with Kite Man after the stuff Kite Man's been through.
Although most of the stuff, that character in the show was kind of more PG and more proper than the rest of them. So maybe you could with that.
But that's what made him funny. If you take that out and make everybody like that, you're just like, That's what made him funny. Is he was just like, ladies. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Harley Quinn show too. So
yeah, me too. I can't wait for season 3 of that.
I know, exactly. That and Kaylee Cuoco is also doing that the
flight attendant,
or whatever.
Season 2's in development for that too, which I like that show a lot too. So.
Yeah, that's a great show too. I don't know how they're going to do a season 2, but I forget how that ended. But it didn't seem like
they did kind of set. Well, they kind of set it up to where she could be an asset for like the FBI, right?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, and then
kind of be an agent for them.
What's her name there? Her friend too,
Rosie
Perez.
Rosie Perez, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what they're gonna do.
Yep. All right, are you ready to get to checkout there, buddy?
I am.
All right, John. What did we spend our money on last week?
All right. The first book we read was from Image Comics. It was Radiant Red, issue number 1. This is a 5-issue miniseries. It was written by Cherish Chen, had art by David Lafuente and Miquel Muerto. This is obviously a spin-off series from Radiant Black. if you've read that series, you've already been introduced to the character of Radiant Red, who was kind of an antagonist for Radiant Black in that show. Now, I'm not up to date with Radiant Black. I've kind of fallen off of it.
Yeah, me too.
But I wanted to read this anyways, because it's a new series, and we said we would.
Good a reason as any.
Yeah, well, because we said we were going to read it.
Series, and we said we were going to do it. That's why we're doing it.
I don't know how you felt about this, but I thought this was super dull. Like, this was just so boring, and absolutely nothing happened.
All right, let me try to bright side that up for you there, buddy.
It recaps. Well, the beginning of it kind of recaps her introduction that we saw in Radiant Black. You find out she's like a bank robber. Using her powers. Well, right, but that's it. That's the only time you see her in her costume in the entire book until like the last panel.
Right,
and it's just literally a whole book of her like being a teacher and babysitting her sister's kids and talking about going to Japan, and like I don't know what was going on here.
I know.
I mean, some dude shows up in her classroom that knows who she is and like sets kind of up the mystery that is going to happen. They want her to show up at a certain place as Radiant Red, and they're going to try to get her to do something for them that she doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
But this was just so dull because nothing happened. Like,
no,
I don't know. You could try to bright side it up for me if you want.
So
but
I'm going to bright side it up for you. It's not for us, and that's it wasn't meant for us. And I listened to Cherish on TLDR with Dr. Joe and Nick, and I loved her interview. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, listen to it. It's like she's like captivating to listen to. She's fun. She's a blast. She loves they talk Saga. She loves Saga. They talked about that. They talked about other books. She's like, I can't wait to come back. She was awesome. She talked this book up, but even when she was talking it up, I don't know if they had read it at the time. I don't know if they had read it yet, but she's like, I can't talk spoilers, but it's something that she wanted to do. It's a 5-arc series. She's hoping she could do more, blah, blah, blah. But she really wanted to just explore this character. And between listening to her and then going and reading it, I feel like this is a book for her, for like a girl growing up. I feel like it's not for us. It's for the female comic reader that wants to read a book that's a little bit more geared towards them. That's how I feel. I just, like you said, I'm like, I just felt like it was like, what the heck?
It just dragged.
We're waiting for the suit and the action, but not everything has to be that way. And I didn't think the story was bad. I just thought it was like, okay.
I didn't think it was bad either.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, the art was, like I said, everything about it was professional and, top notch, I guess.
Well done.
The writing was good. Yeah. It just, I don't know, was super dull for me.
We're waiting for the suit. We're waiting for the action. And they told us about past action. And they teased a little bit that is probably going to be coming. But like we say with a book number 1, it's like, grab me, then give me this story. Right. Grab me with something that is going on. And then, 2/3 of the way into this one, into the second one, give me a little bit of this and then grab me with some more action, something like that. But I don't know. It wasn't for me. But I felt bad because I really wanted to like it, but I can't deny that it's like kind of boring to me. So sorry about that.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, wasn't for us.
Yeah, it's not for us. Not everything is, John.
Nope.
Not everything is. All right.
All right.
Next one.
Next up, also from Image Comics, Little Monsters issue 1, written by Jeff Lemire, had art by Dustin Nguyen. Thought this was a little dull too, to be honest with you. This was a lot of setup.
Of setup
to get to the last page. The premise here is like, there's a group of kids that you meet. They're the last children and I believe the last people left on Earth, who also happen to be vampires. So they've been, eternally here. We don't really know how long they've been in their situation. It's obviously a post-apocalyptic type situation
Your
because
favorite.
everybody else is gone. But they're kids, right? So they're stuck playing kids games, but they're also like immortal. They're
like
older than
hundreds
we'll
of
ever
years
be,
old. Yeah.
but they haven't matured past the point where they're still playing
Right.
tag and all these kid games. But they're bored of it. They've been doing it for so long. They're getting kind of tired of it. And you really just kind of spend the whole book meeting these kids in groups of like one or two. There's like 2 or 3 pages for each group of kids. And then, it's the night's ending, right? The sun's getting ready to come up, so they have to go into hiding, but one of them is missing. So they go out looking for him, and he has stumbled across like an adult homeless person or just an adult guy in an alleyway. And like, that's the end of the book, spoilers, not to spoil it, I guess, but came out a week ago. But yeah, and so now they're like, obviously their world is going to change based on that discovery because, where did this guy come from? And, is he also immortal? What's going on there? So I did mark this down as a book I'm going to continue to, like, I'm going to give at least number 2 a read. But this I did feel was pretty slow too, and a little dull, unfortunately. So, but I like Jeff Lemire, and so I'm kind of giving it the benefit of the doubt based just on that. That it's going to pick up, and
I thought it was a good tease. That's what it felt like to me the entire time. Like, they almost like didn't even want to tell you flat out like how old they were, and they put it in their conversation. Like, you were supposed to infer from their conversation what their ages are, how long, what they know, how much they know, and
and you didn't know they were vampires really until almost the end of the book either. Like, once they started talking about like the sun coming up, and you're like, okay, and then one of them had said something about,
that was 100 years ago. There was a lot.
Their long lives. Something like that.
So you got that idea, and
right.
I found it to be, like you said, it's not action packed, lot of world building, but I felt like it was a little bit more intriguing, which kind of gets you to book 2. Not
and
like
that's
the
why
way
I'm gonna go on with it.
So. That's what, but again, it's not one that you're going to pick up and be like, oh my God, do you remember the end of this? It was so good. I can't wait for book 2.
Right.
No, you're like, I kind of want to see where this goes. I like the idea of little monsters. Like, they're still just little kids, but they're still immortal. They've been around forever.
And again, then the question becomes like, why were they all turned as children? And why are they the only ones that survived? So there's questions that, like you said, that kind of make you want to stick around to find out the answers. And they do allude to somebody that was like their maker or, the boss or something. They talk about, I forget what they called him, but like somebody that's they're waiting for somebody to return, so.
Yep.
It's interesting. But again, don't expect it to it's a little slow.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll see what happens in book 2.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right. Coming up next week, we've got a couple of books here.
Yeah, you tell me, because I don't know.
No. Yeah, no, this is how we're playing it. You sent me, you texted me and said, sub this one in, and what we're going to do is we're going to tell the listeners the 2 that we had chosen, and then the third, and the third's definitely coming in, but we're going to read all 3, and then the one that doesn't make it, the listeners will know which one didn't make it. See what I'm doing?
Okay.
Huh? Yep. Little fun? Having some fun there? Yeah.
All right. So
wow, we jazzing things up, huh?
Yeah.
So just go with
nobody
your
will
first
remember
2.
next week anyways. Yeah. So we could possibly be talking about either Batman, Superman, World's Finest, issue number 1, or Carnage number 1. And we will definitely be talking about Slumber issue number 1.
Image Comics, Slumber
Image
number
Comics,
1.
Slumber. Yeah.
That's definitely coming up, but that will knock out. We'll probably talk
One
about
of the
all
other
3 of
two.
them, but only 2 of them will make the title
Yeah.
shot.
I'm going to read all 3 of them anyway.
Right.
So,
Yeah, we'll read all 3, and then we'll go, and then, yeah. So that'll be fun. That should be fun. So check those out. I have, if I
we should always have we should have a third alternate every week. That way, if one of them's really bad, we can not talk about it. You know,
John, you have a book full of stores, a store
I know,
full of books.
but there's not always number 1s every week. You
Right.
know? Somehow I missed Slumber. Like when I was looking at the coming next week, because I would have picked that right off the bat because it was a it's Image and not Marvel or DC.
Right.
I tend to not want to pick those because they don't need the help anyways.
Yeah.
You know, so.
No, I know. But yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. That should be fun. Did you read Nightwing this week?
Yep. Sure did.
Good. Really good.
Yep.
Really good. Obviously. I was able to get in. The only one I didn't get in that I wanted to get in was Spawn this week.
Okay.
But I got Devil's Reign in and I got Nightwing in. But I read the 2 that we had to read for this week, and then I was able to get Nightwing in. And then I had enough time to get Devil's Reign in as well. But
okay.
Devil's Reign's doing good.
Devil's Reign is really good.
Yeah.
Did you read Devil's Reign 5 and then go back and read Daredevil Woman Without Fear number 3 in the correct order?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what we're supposed to do. Did you do that?
Yeah. I did do that.
Did it work out? Like, did you see
out.
why they had to say it?
I don't remember exactly what the big spoiler was now, but
couldn't have been too big.
Well, I just don't remember books. I'd
have to remember Devil's
They just
Reign.
leak right out of my head because I have 2 other books that I want to talk about, and I don't really remember either one of them that well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's funny.
I just read so much stuff. But did you read Hit Me number 1 from AWA?
No.
Yeah, that came out also last week.
Oh,
that was pretty interesting.
How did we not have that on the list?
Well, because there was the 2 that we just talked about. There was already other number 1s.
I gotta check that out. Though.
But yeah, I would have.
I didn't even have a lot of time to explore this week.
Yeah, I probably should have chosen Hit Me over Radiant Red, knowing that I was behind on that series anyways. But Hit Me was an interesting premise. Main character makes her living by getting paid to let people beat her up, and so obviously she associates with the less savory crowd, and finds herself.
Yeah, Dr. Joe. I went to the game with Dr. Joe, B's game on Thursday. Yeah, and he was talking about it there. I knew I heard about it.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, she finds herself, one of her regulars gets killed, and she witnesses that, and hijinks ensue from there. So should be good. And then also read Punisher number 1. Did you get a chance to read that?
Nope.
Okay, so this is like the rebranding of the Punisher. They've changed his costume, his logo after 30, 40 years of being in existence. He no longer has the skull logo, and which is controversial to some that they're changing that. But the book itself was pretty interesting. He has now found himself working with the Hand and is like high up in their organization. If you're familiar with the Hand, they have the ability to bring people back from the dead. So they have resurrected his dead wife, who was basically the cause of him becoming the Punisher in the first place.
Yeah.
They didn't resurrect his dead kids though, so that's interesting. Like, he got his wife back, but not his kids. But I'm not the biggest Punisher reader, and I'm not sure I'll stick with this long term because I don't find the character that interesting usually. But I wanted to read this one because of the change and see what was going on. And it was interesting. It's just a different take on him, working with them as opposed to, taking out like street level thugs and all that. So, we'll see where it goes. But that was interesting too.
Cool. What's the other number 3 that you said? I forget. The Daredevil one. Oh,
Woman Without Fear.
Oh, that's right. Woman.
Yeah, which was the last. That was the last issue of that. That's the Electro book. The Electro book.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I have that one too. Woman
Yeah.
Without Fear, #3. I already have it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, because it came out a couple weeks ago, but we had to put off reading it because it spoiled Devil's Reign #5, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it spoiled Devil's Reign #5, which came out like a week later. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. All right. While you were saying them, I got them all. I found them all.
Awesome.
And I will have them. I will have them, and I will read them.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Is that it?
That is
all
it.
you got? Right.
Oh, I read a little bit more Sex Criminals too. I read.
Oh yeah.
Probably another 6 or 7 issues of that. Still enjoying that book. It's crazy, but it's
Sex
it's
Criminals
a lot of fun.
hit me.
Yeah.
Feel bad for Lydia.
I know, right?
All right. You ready for Real World?
I am.
All righty. Let's hit it.
All right. So, like I said, not a lot here this week because once again,
Same here.
Lydia was gone on Thursday, which is the day I watched most of these things. Sunday, we just spent the whole day getting caught up on all of our network shows again because we were a week behind. But I finished off The Office, the BBC version of The Office. It was good. Like I mentioned the last time I talked about it, it felt kind of like a rehash because I've already watched all of the American, The Office. Obviously not the same show, but some of similar themes and things like that. But it was a decent show overall. Like I said, I'm kind of on a Ricky Gervais kick, and this was good. I mean, his character in this was like so unlikable,
Oh yeah.
Again, if you're familiar with the Steve Carell character, this guy is worse. I mean, he's just awful, but pretty funny. And then I watched Coda again. The second time I've watched it.
I still haven't seen it, but yeah.
Now it's popping up all over Apple TV because it's up for some awards and
little ones like Oscars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some awards.
So I was by myself and sat down and watched that again. Cried like a baby. It was it's brutal.
It doesn't get me to watch stuff. I hate that.
But it's not.
I stay away from that stuff.
It's uplifting. You know what I mean?
Oh
they're not. It's not crying because it's super sad. It's just so like emotional, you know. And
that's awesome.
I may or may not have had some more chocolate before I watched this.
Oh God!
So I was just like sobbing while I was watching this movie. It was like really bad. But still, I love it. It's a great movie. Then
the best would be if you were watching it on you told us you were watching it on your phone in Walmart parking lot or something.
Oh no. Yeah, just blubbering
bawling
in the
your
car.
eyes out.
Yeah. No. I was at home alone, fortunately. Just me and the dog. So
God.
And then I watched The Mitchells versus the Machines, which is on Netflix. Yep. It's an animated thing. But I had heard great things about it, and I had heard that it had great Atmos. It had a great Atmos track. And it did. It was great.
I think that's been on my podcast. People have mentioned that on my podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got some great stuff in it.
Great Atmos track. And it was a lot of fun. The movie itself was super fun. It's kind of a cross between Not All Robots and like Terminator. It's their version of Alexa rises up to take over the world, and it's the basically the robot apocalypse.
Yeah.
To answer your question, last night temperatures in Mantle, Texas got up to 71 degrees Fahrenheit.
I said her name, so
you gotta say a lady. Yeah. Not only you said her name, but now if anybody's listening like at their house, it's gonna come out, or on their phones or something. Their phones are gonna start answering.
That's true
while
too.
they're
Their phones are gonna
driving
start going crazy.
Yeah, you gotta say a lady or.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of the guy's name that played the main the main voice. He was the guy from the Righteous Gemstones and other stuff. Danny McBride is the lead voice actor there, and he's pretty good. So yeah, and I recommend it to you just for the Atmos and the it's animated, so the visuals are fantastic anyway.
Yeah.
So
Mark on my podcast gave me it was a great Atmos reference for one that you would never expect there to be great Atmos in, but he's like, it was amazing because you weren't expecting it, and it was so discreet, and it came from Ted Lasso.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and somebody yelled down to him from their apartment, and we didn't have a timestamp or scene or anything. He goes, but you're just watching it. He happened to be watching it in his theater, which is his living room theater. He has a living room theater like yours, but he has the overheads and all that. And he's like, you're just sitting there, and then all of a sudden the person yells down, and he goes, I had to look back and up because it sounded like it was coming down at you. But it's in a show that's like, comedy drama type show. You're not expecting a great Atmos surround sound. But Apple
it's TV. Apple TV, and everything is in Atmos and Dolby Vision.
Yeah. So. He said it was awesome. But yeah. All right, go ahead.
Cool. And then the last thing is we watched most of season 2 of Dead to Me, which I talked about before. That's the one with Christina Applegate. And,
yeah. We've seen. Yeah, Jen and I saw that a while ago.
We've only got 2 left. We watched. Once we got caught up with our other shows, we were finally able to get back to that. We've been trying to finish for 3 weeks.
Look at you catching up to me and Jen.
I know. So yeah, we only have 2 left. We'll probably finish those off after dinner tonight. And
nice.
That's it. Other than that, watched Outlander, like we mentioned earlier, and Picard. So
yeah. What'd you think of this week's Picard? I was a little underwhelmed.
Were you?
Yeah.
I think it took a while to figure out what was going on. Kind of. But yeah, it was not not the top episode they've had, but I thought it was fine.
I thought it was took just too long to build.
Yeah.
It was just like, I found myself at the end, I'm like looking at my watch, and I'm like, okay, all right, I got to get to work. And this is I'm like, what the? Yeah. Should I just pick this up? There's only 10 more minutes. I'll power through. And that's when I was like, I'll power through. I'm like,
right.
What the hell I go through for this stuff?
Right.
But no, the episode 1 this season, we just raved about. We were like, you don't even have to have seen season 1. It's great episode. This is going to be great. And then I was like, wah, wah. I was like, this one wasn't. I'm sure it'll be fine, but it was a little bit of a downer. I was a little bit disappointed in it. Quality
just a lot of a lot of setup, for what's going on. They're in the alternate, we find out it's not an alternate universe. It's more an alternate timeline, and
they mentioned
this is setting up. Yeah, it's basically setting up Star Trek 4, right? They're going to have to travel back to 2024, and find the nuclear vessels and, the whales and all that good stuff.
Vessels.
So, yeah. But yeah, it's just like I said, it was setting them up to come back in time. And I think almost the whole season is going to take place in 2024. So,
yeah, that's what it seemed like at the end trailer after episode 1. Yeah. It seemed like a lot of saves on budget, too.
Yeah, because
shoot it out in LA.
Yep, no sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, sci-fi goes right out the window, and everybody goes, "Ooh, look at they're in the wrong place." Yeah, we just saved a fortune.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did. We're almost done. You haven't even started yet, right? Inventing Anna on Netflix.
No, again, it's now on my list, but
it's funny. I've seen people and heard people talking about they don't like it.
Oh, really?
I've seen conversations where people don't like Julia Garner's accent, and they don't like. And what it ends up being is that the people that don't like it, I don't think they understand what she's playing, because she's supposedly just like her. And that's the issue. They're like, that's not even a real accent. No kidding. This person that she's portraying doesn't have
a fake, right?
The whole thing's fake. She's a fake person, and we're getting to the end of it now, and she's really becoming just like this awful, like she's acting like a child. She's just like,
Yeah.
you're not going to support me? And blah, 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 blah. If I was a man, I would do that. And then she breaks down crying. And I'm like, if you were a man and you just started crying, they would throw
I'd
you
punch
out of
you
the
right in the
office.
mouth.
They'd be like, get out of my office, you big baby. Stop eating those chocolates and watching Coda.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like she's like, she plays the whole, I'm a woman and you don't respect me. But then right in front of the guy in a business deal, she breaks down crying. Like, hello. But yeah, it is really good to see how she did this. It's amazing. And the people that she took advantage of. And one of them is, you'll see later on in the season is Goose from Top Gun.
Goose. Oh, Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards, yeah. Jen
Yeah.
didn't she recognized him. She goes, is that? And I was like, yes.
I mean, I remember him more from ER than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
but-
Well, he looks even older now. He's like an old, he plays like this old billionaire.
Right.
And helps
I
her
haven't
out.
seen him in years. I can't even
Yeah.
remember the last
Well,
thing I saw him in.
Well, Jen's like, she just last summer and
She's
she just
binging ER, right?
She binged through it last summer and now she's going through it again. She loves the show.
Oh,
but
yeah.
so she sees him all the time and she barely recognized him. I'm
Right.
like, I knew who he was because I recognize people more by their voices than I do by their sight.
Yeah, me
know.
too.
I could do it from the other room. And sometimes seeing them actually screws you up. You'll be
Yeah,
like,
it's the
oh, that
voice.
doesn't-
Yeah.
But if I'm in the other room, I'm like, yeah, that's Anthony Edwards. I can hear from here.
Right.
Yeah. So that one's wrapping up pretty good. Almost. I think we're just about to start Euphoria season 2.
Oh,
So-
you're not even on season. I thought you were at least on season 2.
How many seasons are there? There are
2.
only 2. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I thought you were at least in season 2 already.
John, I'm not on
No,
season 2 of
isn't there-
Sopranos yet. At least I'm topical with Euphoria.
That's true. Did you watch the extra episodes first, though?
I don't think so. I just finished season 1. What do you mean? There's extra now?
Oh.
I got extra homework to do?
I've told you about this.
I
There's
know.
the two Christmas episodes.
Of
They-
Euphoria?
They came between seasons.
Oh, okay.
There's 2 1 hour. There's one is
Kind of like
Jules and
Mythic
one
Quest
is
did their little thing too.
yeah, and
Yeah,
they just came out at Christmas time. They're not Christmas episodes, but
Right.
one's Jules and one's now I can't Rue. You know,
Yeah.
but you definitely want to catch those before you go into season 2 because they're
All
relevant
right.
to the story.
Oh,
So
it's like the
Yeah.
Clone Wars all over again. Get the right
I
order
know.
in. Jesus.
well, they should actually pop up as like when it just says watch next episode. I believe it'll go to those first.
Right.
So
Yeah. Let's see.
and those you can watch in any order. It actually doesn't matter.
What's
Those 2 episodes.
the 2 episodes. Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
because they just play off each other, but it doesn't matter which way you watch them.
Right.
So
All right. Pam and Tommy, did you finish that?
I did. Yes,
Pretty good.
it was good.
It was
I actually enjoyed it.
yeah. I kind of feel like I don't know, like Pam's coming out with her own show now or whatever, docuseries.
Yeah.
And it's like, I thought they did a good job of, by the end of it, I think they did a good job of representing them in a decent light.
I think so too, as long as that's the accurate story, which we still don't really know if it is. You know what I
Well,
mean?
Jen and and that's what's fun about the show is it sparks off that conversation. Like, cause that was the conversation back then. Did they do this themselves? Was it
Right.
really stolen or did they try to go for the publicity stunt?
Right.
And here's the thing, even in this show, neither of them come off as fairly intelligent people.
No.
Right. So with that being said, you could see that maybe they came up with the cockamamie idea of releasing this tape for publicity and then it all went south.
Right.
But here's what makes me think that that it really was stolen is that you do know it is a fact however they portrayed it in the show or not, but it is a fact that they took a big hit.
Yeah.
Publicly for that tape because it had never, and that's what Jen and I were talking about. Like people forget this had never been done before,
Right.
right? So it was a shock. And imagine, and I was saying to Jen, I'm like, it was Pam and Tommy. So that's why it kind of got out there. Like if this was Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt and they made the same tape and somebody stole it, that never sees the light of day because that would have been squelched by like right away by the people that said, you cannot do this to them. And but because it was Pam and Tommy, I think there was a little bit, I think Pam was right in the show that like, that's how you get treated. This is what, she was already in Playboy. She'd already quote unquote exposed herself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas if it was somebody like I said, like a Jennifer Aniston, unfortunately, they would have treated her differently. Unfortunately for Pam, I mean.
Right.
But,
yeah, I mean, again, you end up feeling for them. Even Tommy, who's like, again, he's a garbage person, but you still kind of feel for him at times throughout the show.
He's like, yeah,
you know,
I am. He admitted to everybody, even the Seth Rogen's character. He's like, yeah,
right.
I'm a
terrible person.
I'm a terrible person. I get it. He's like, but what did you do? What did Pam do?
What did she ever do to you? That's
what did she ever do to you? But at the same time, they're all trying to. Do you see that? What I thought was interesting is that. Do you see how everybody got screwed by what they do? So Pam goes on Playboy, exposes herself for money, but now somebody else finds a way to use that same thing and make money off of her, but she doesn't like it, right? Just like the Seth Rogen character, I found the tape, I produced the tape, other people make tape, they all made the money, he didn't make anything.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it was the big circle that everybody, it just kept happening to everybody.
Right.
And that's why I think they didn't do this on purpose because there was nothing to tell them that they should do this. It had never been done before. And then it went so far south, you're like,
I don't think they did it on purpose either. Because like you said, there was no positive outcome for them through the whole thing. And so why would they have done that? You know?
The only way
I don't know. I
say
thought it was
if he did it on
good.
purpose. That's the only way, which would be sad, which we'll never know. Hopefully he didn't do this to her because if Tommy Lee actually did this, like to try and get, because that's one thing they didn't really portray a ton of, but Motley Crue had gone south by then. And they were like on top of the world at one point.
They didn't really come out and say it. But yeah, there was hints of it with the VH1 behind the music thing about Motley Crue. And then the dude moving all the CDs to the discount rack at Tower Records and all that. But it was stuff,
but that would have been the one motivation for a guy like Tommy who used to be they were like the top of the world as far as rock and roll. And then all of a sudden they were just like nothing. Yeah, so maybe he's over. Like, all right, you want to see nothing? I love the Mick Mars line. Worst things in the world are having a big, whatever he said.
A giant hog.
So for being known of having
you know, and it's funny too, because they all were, I think, pretty good representations except for Vince Neil. Who I didn't think looked like Vince Neil at all.
At one point, I said to Jen,
looked like Nikki Sixx. You know,
they look great. And Sebastian Stan, even as it went on, I was like really buying into it.
Like I said, his body type was a little off, but he embodied Tommy Lee. You know,
we finished it. We finished the show on Sunday, I think Sunday afternoon, and then that night I was going through. I was watching Winter Soldier. Oh no. It was Winter Soldier, and it went right into Civil War. And I showed Jen, I'm like, there's Tommy Lee. And she goes, that's him? And I was like, yes, that's what I've been telling you. It's the same guy from these movies.
Yeah. It took Lydia a little while to figure out who he was, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a really good job. There was one time when he was playing the drums, and Jen's like, that was the best he probably did in the whole show.
Right.
Of making him actually acting like Tommy Lee is when he was on the drums. But so yeah, that was a decent show. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's worth it, even though the penis talk.
It's still awesome. I don't know why that bothered you so much. I thought it was funny
because I thought the show was so well grounded. Other than that,
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, it wasn't super grounded, but I mean, I thought it was it was like a normal show, and
Right.
that one thing in there, you're like, what the hell was this? Yeah. I just felt like it was out of place.
Yeah.
So, but all right. Anything else? I'm trying to think. Dropout. Did you see that one yet on Hulu?
No,
I told you about.
I haven't. Yeah, like I
We're
said,
we're just at
we
the
haven't
beginning
started
of that.
anything.
So. Yeah.
Finished Mrs. Maisel. That's done.
Season 3.
And that was super quick because they dropped 2 a week. So it was like 4 weeks and it was done. Like we just finished it. And I was like, oh my God, this is already done. It was season 4, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that.
I don't either because
you're
like,
only
if you're gonna
shortening the amount of time I'm on your site.
Exactly. It's like there's no reason to double that because it's like, what do you have now that is so you were in such a hurry to put out?
Right?
You know what I mean?
It's so funny.
But yeah, it was so weird that they did that. But
it wouldn't.
Well, they did it with that Vox Machina show too. It was
did they?
3 episodes a week for 4 weeks, and then it was done. It's like you could have got 12 weeks out of that. you know why do
12 weeks of conversation.
And with Mrs. Maisel, they didn't do that on any of the other seasons.
No.
It was one per week.
I mean, if you have a business model like Netflix where you drop it all at once, I get it. That's what you do. But your
now
business
you're like in this
model is
weird
to
middle
draw it
ground.
out, yeah.
You're in this weird in between place where it's like I'm not giving you all of it, but I'm not going to give it to you 8 weeks in a row either. It's like we're going to get 4 weeks out of you and that's it. So but yeah, and that's Amazon Prime, who also dropped all of Reacher. I don't even know what their model is because Reacher came all at once. Maisel came 2 a week. The other ones came 3 episodes and then 5 weeks in a row. Like, I don't know what they're doing over there.
Well, you know what else it is? I think they don't have a monthly fee.
Well, no,
most
as
of
long as you're a member
Amazon
of Amazon Prime, right?
So they're not looking to keep you for that.
They got you for the whole year.
Where you get
they got you for the whole year, regardless.
Yeah, because I mean, if you notice, all the other ones with the monthly fee, they'll run a six-week show, and then
so you have to get 2 months.
So that's 2 months, but then at the end of the 6-week show, you're 3 weeks away from the next 6-week show.
Exactly.
So you got to stick on for the next month too, and it's like, I mean, they're not stupid, John.
No, they're not. It's just. They get a weird model at Amazon. Like I said, I think they're just trying to find themselves. It's like they don't know what they want to do.
Yeah. They don't care. They're making billions anyways.
Oh yeah, Bezos doesn't care. He's like, we do shows. Okay.
Yeah, we do shows. Can I get those in space?
Right.
All right. Is that it?
That's it.
That's 117 we're at right now.
Yeah, pretty
nice
quick.
Short show. There you go.
Well, it's because we started super late. So.
Yeah. Well, the actual recording is 117.
Right.
Been a typical week, kind of.
Yeah.
Other than my internet issues. But all right. That'll do it for this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for reaching out, for everybody that contributed to Mailbag this week. Really appreciate that. If you'd like to contribute to Mailbag and have
We had over 4, so I got to go see my wife.
Yeah, exactly. Something about a big rig and a bear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so look at that.
Would you like to touch my monkey? This is the time on Sprockets when we dance.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, boy. All right. Enough of that. Enough of the jokes, folks. All right. Yeah, if you'd like to reach out and be a part of Mailbag next week, you can reach us on Twitter at brightside_chat, or you can reach John directly and be part of July's Mailbag at Arkham Comics with an X.
I just got that. I was like, wait a minute.
No. What was funny is I was looking at you and I'm like, and I'm still talking, and you and like all of a sudden.
It took me a second to process that.
Yeah, all of a sudden it looked like you ate a lemon. Your face went like you laughed. Oh, that was great. Or you can email us at thebrightsidechat@gmail.com. Gmail.com. But other than that, it's been a great week. We got to get John out of here. Got some trucking to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a great week, everybody.
All right.
Oh, where's the music? Oh, yeah, I should do music. All right, have a great week, everybody. Do you want to say yours again, too?
Take care, everyone.
There we go.